Hey everyone, Metin here from AffEngineer.com again. This video is going to be a pretty cool one. I'm going to be going over some designs that I've had in the past that have worked and some that haven't worked, so you guys can see the difference in between what works and what doesn't work. So basically what I've done is at the top here, in this box, or if you can visualize a box around this, I've put some designs that did not work, so it didn't work. And then the opposite to that, I've put in some designs that have worked, right? So in this video I'll be covering the difference between designs that do work and don't work, and I'm also going to be covering an approach that I've used and a lot of other people use, which is the quantity approach when it comes to Teespring campaigns or pretty much anything affiliate marketing related. Um, so you can see there's a similarity between the types of shirts that I've been pumping out. This is a very common one. It's a Linda thing you wouldn't understand, or it's the name designs. These are some designs I saw working. I just made variations of. And Super Mum. This is my own design I made myself. I think there was one similar to this, but for a nurse, and that sold really well. So I made one for lawyer, Mustang. Oh no, lawyer, and I made it for a couple of others, which I haven't put here. But basically, when I see a design that does work on a particular Facebook fan page or maybe teespring.discover or slash discover, I see a type of design that I can make variations of and make a similar design, obviously not the same, but a similar set of designs, and I can test different demographics, and that's what I do, right? And so, I mean, this design is pretty much the same as this design, um, but the car is different. Here is the Mustang, and here it's a Mini. But this sold 0 and this sold about 20, and I was in profits on from day one. I think day one I sold about 5 shirts off a $10 spend of this for a Mini. So just some niches are buyer niches, or have different kind of factors that influence the buyers within that niche. Maybe they've seen shirts designed towards them more times in this niche here, for example. You just don't know until you try. So what I did, as you can see, I mean, there's 5 here of the same design but different variations, and I've done about 10 to 20 of these, right? And about 4 or 5 have hit, and 15 or so have not sold at all. So for a $10 to $20 spend off the ones that I haven't seen any profit on, I've sold. I've had 4 campaigns that have worked, that have made up for the loss of the testing campaigns that have failed, but have given me a profit as well. So that's what I mean by the quantity approach. If you can just kind of just concentrate on these 4 here, sorry, these 5. That's what I mean by just throwing a huge set of variations of that same design and seeing what gives you results. I mean, these are variations by the actual interest. That's what I'm varying up here. Um, you can vary up the name, or you can vary up the year. Sometimes I've got different year shirts that have maybe an interest attached to them, right? So you see what designs work, and then you play with the variations to see if you can find a particular demographic that likes it more than the other. I mean, don't be worried if you're losing out on 10 to 15 campaigns, because there will be that one campaign that will make up for everything else. I mean, if the one campaign can bring you $500 to $1,000, that's another. Say you're spending $20 to test, that's another 50 campaigns you can test, right? 25 to 50. So don't be worried about spending money on testing campaigns. And again, don't be worried about moving through this really quickly. This is the one template I've got. You see the stars are exactly in the same spot. The text is exactly the same. The only thing I've varied up is just this little picture. That's all I've done. So the template's really simple. I mean, it probably takes me a minute to find a really good picture and paste it in and then save the design, and that's a design I can work with. So in the 1 hour I can throw out like maybe 6 or 7 of these, on Facebook, ready to be advertised. So that's how you kind of get really quick with this. You find a template that works, and then you just vary up designs within that template. Again, the same thing here, same thing here, same thing with these designs. With these ones, you see, I think there was a similar design again for cello players, but with a different picture here. So I just tried a different picture, and mine sold not just as well, but it sold like, I think, 20 to 25. Not a monster campaign, but I mean, at the end of the day, it gave me a profit, so I'd keep it. Um, I tried the same thing for different niches, didn't work, so I just kind of left it. But I mean, there's literally probably hundreds or thousands I haven't tried, and you can go ahead and try, and you might find success with that. But keep this in mind, this whole quantity approach. You just throw a bunch of variations out there and see what gives you results. You may not have the funds to support it initially, but that's the approach you take when you kind of see some return, and you can reinvest that return. It's a jest thing, or this for some reason this name campaign works really well. I don't do custom IDs or anything like that. I go about actually targeting, um, indirectly targeting names actually. I kind of pointed out in the description to tag a jest or something like that, and then you know after a while you get a bunch of Jesses tagged and a lot of them purchase. So I've tried the same technique for different names and they just haven't sold, but Jess has sold I think twice or two reruns. Um, Again, there's no difference in the designs apart from the name, and for some reason this one sells. So you just don't know what factors kind of influence the sale. Just try variations and see what happens. So that's what I wanted to kind of cover in this video, the quantity approach. Too many people get stuck on that one design that they've spent an hour to do. I mean, this initially it took me a while to make from scratch. I think it took me about half an hour to an hour to come up with a really nice design here with the fonts and the stars and all that kind of stuff. But once it's out there, I mean, you can throw out 6 to 7 different variations. And see, I made this design off of that as well. All I did was change this text, moved it up, and kept this text the same. Once you've found, I mean, it gets easier and easier to make designs. So that's another reason why you should learn a really basic Photoshop kind of tool. Photoshop or GIMP shop. I covered GIMP shop in the previous videos, but once you learn that to a certain extent, all I've done here is change the colors, copy and pasted, resize, change the fonts. That's all I've done. Really, really simple stuff. Really, really simple stuff, right? So that's what I wanted to cover in this video. Hopefully I did. Um, you can work off these designs if you want. Just throw out a lot of variations into some niches that you think people haven't heard of before. I mean, there's hobbies you can use. Um, Another more names, different professions, different pets. You can go crazy. Alright, so I'll end it here and I'll see you guys in the next video.